think we know ancient Egypt. The golden pharaohs, the mighty pyramids, the curse of the mummies. But what if it's only the beginning? What if beneath the sand and centuries of silence lie rituals so dark, so powerful, so forbidden, that even today dare not speak their names? Tonight, we journey into the shadows of the most advanced civilization in human history, and where the line between life and death was nothing more than a whisper. The opening of the mouth, deep beneath the golden sands of Egypt, in chambers that have remained sealed for over 3,000 years. Archaeologists have discovered something that challenges everything we thought we knew about death itself. Picture this: a pharaoh lies motionless, his body wrapped in linen, adorned with gold. To our eyes, he is dead, gone forever. But to the ancient Egyptians, this was merely the beginning. They called it Wepra, the opening of the mouth, and what happened next defied the very laws of nature. In the flickering light of oil lamps, the high priest approaches, in his hands tools of unimaginable power, not made of bronze or gold, but forged from meteorites, metal that fell from the heavens themselves. The priest begins to chant, ancient words that predate Moses and predate Christ, predate Buddha, words so old their origins are lost to time. And then he touches the mummy's eyes, the nose, the mouth. Because the Egyptians believed that in this moment, in this precise, terrifying moment, the soul could see again, breathe again, speak again. But here's what they never taught you in school. Archaeological evidence shows this wasn't just performed on mummies. Recent studies suggest they performed this ritual on living people. Volunteers who believed so deeply in their gods that they willingly underwent a procedure that would allow them to communicate with the dead while still alive. The question that haunts researchers today: what did they see on the other side? The Curse Protocol. November 26, 1922, British archaeologist Howard Carter peers through a small hole into the tomb of Tutankhamun. When asked what he can see, his famous reply echoes through history: wonderful things. But there was something else Carter saw that day, something he chose not to report, something carved into the stone that made his blood run cold. Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the pharaoh. Most people dismiss these as superstitions, primitive beliefs of a primitive people. They are catastrophically wrong, because these weren't just threats, they were protocols, precise instructions for supernatural warfare that the ancient Egyptians took as seriously as we take nuclear launch codes. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, Egyptologist at Oxford University, made a discovery in 2019 that changed everything. Deep within the tomb of Ramesses III, she found something that shouldn't exist: instructions. Step-by-step procedures for awakening something the Egyptians called the Devourers of Hearts. Entities that existed solely to hunt down and destroy anyone who violated the sacred rest of the pharaohs. And the most terrifying part, the rituals were designed to work across time, across space, across dimensions of reality we still don't understand. Lord Carnarvon Carter's financial backer died 4 months after the tomb's opening. His death was sudden, mysterious, and accompanied by phenomena that defied explanation. But Carnarvon was just the beginning. In the decades that followed, 22 people connected to the tomb's discovery died under circumstances that can only be described as impossible. The blood hunger of Sekhmet. In the blazing heat of the Egyptian desert stands a temple that most tourists never see. Too dangerous, they're told, too unstable. They're lying. This is the temple of Sekhmet, the lioness goddess, the Eye of Ra. And within these walls, 3,000 years ago, occurred rituals so horrific that even the ancient Egyptians themselves tried to forget them. Picture a goddess with the head of a lioness and the body of a woman. Her eyes burn like twin suns. Her claws can tear through reality itself. Hungry. The ancient texts tell us that Sekhmet nearly destroyed all of humanity in a fit of rage. The only thing that stopped her was a lake of beer, dyed red to look like blood, which made her so drunk she forgot her mission of annihilation. But that's the sanitized version. The truth is far more terrifying, because the Egyptians discovered that Sekhmet's hunger wasn't metaphorical, it was literal. And to keep her satisfied, to keep her from turning her wrath upon the kingdom, they fed her. Archaeological evidence from the Temple of Sekhmet reveals drainage systems, channels carved deep into the stone floor, channels that led to collection pools. And chemical analysis of residue found in these pools confirms what ancient texts only dared to hint at: human blood. But here's where the story becomes even more disturbing. The blood wasn't taken from the dead. The hieroglyphs make it clear. Sekhmet demanded the life force of the living. Volunteers who believed that their sacrifice would prevent the goddess from consuming entire cities. And the most chilling detail of all, it worked. Records show that kingdoms who failed to perform these rituals simply vanished from history. Entire civilizations erased as if they never existed, as if something had devoured them whole. The Solar Barque Protocol. They are the most mysterious objects ever discovered in Egypt. Not treasures, not weapons, not even mummies. Ships. Buried in the sand beside the Great Pyramid of Giza lies a vessel 143 feet long, perfectly preserved, never touched by water. But this is no ordinary ship. This is what the ancient Egyptians called a solar barque, a vessel designed not for earthly waters, but for the cosmic ocean of eternity itself. According to Egyptian mythology, every night the sun god Ra must journey through the underworld, battling the serpent Apep, the embodiment of chaos and destruction. If Ra fails in this battle, the sun will not rise and all life on earth will end. But what if this wasn't mythology? What if it was? Operational procedure. Deep within the pyramid, archaeologists have discovered chambers that shouldn't exist. Rooms with walls covered in star charts so accurate they rival modern astronomy. Maps of stellar configurations that won't occur for another 1,000 years. And in the center of these chambers, remains, not of pharaohs but of something else, something that was both human and more than human. The evidence suggests that selected individuals, pharaohs, high priests, chosen ones, underwent a transformation ritual that allowed them to actually pilot these cosmic vessels. To literally journey with Ra through dimensions of reality that exist beyond our physical universe. But the price of this journey was everything that made them human. And here's the part that will haunt you. The ritual is still active. The chambers deep within the pyramids still emit energy readings that our instruments cannot explain. As if somewhere, in dimensions we cannot perceive, the solar barques are still sailing, still fighting the eternal battle against chaos, still carrying passengers who made the ultimate sacrifice for the survival of our world. The cat apocalypse. In 2019, archaeologists in Saqqara made a discovery that defied all logic. Thousands upon thousands of mummified cats, arranged in perfect geometric patterns, buried in chambers that stretch for miles beneath the desert. At first glance, it seemed like ancient Egyptians simply loved their pets. They were so very wrong. The goddess Bastet, protector deity, bringer of joy and fertility, depicted as a gentle cat or a woman with a cat's head. But peel away the layers of sanitized history, and you discover something far more terrifying. Because Bastet wasn't just a protector goddess. She was a guardian, a sentinel standing watch against something so dangerous that even the gods themselves feared it. And those thousands of mummified cats, they weren't offerings, they were soldiers. Ancient texts describe a coming darkness, an entity known as the devourer of light that would one day emerge from the void between stars to consume all life in the universe. The only defense against this cosmic horror was an army of supernatural guardians, the Ka, or souls of cats who had volunteered to serve Bastet in eternal battle. But here's what keeps researchers awake at night. The texts specify an exact date for the awakening of this threat. And that date is rapidly approaching, as if an army buried for millennia is preparing to wake up. The cosmic alignment. Abu Simbel, Ramesses II's masterpiece, carved from living rock on the banks of the Nile. But this is more than architecture, more than art, more than ego. This is a machine. Twice a year, on February 22nd and October 22nd, something impossible happens. The rising sun sends a beam of light deep into the temple, traveling over 200 feet through perfectly aligned chambers, to illuminate 3 specific statues in the inner sanctuary. Ramesses II, the god Amun-Ra, the god Ra-Harakti. But the 4th statue, Ta, god of the underworld, remains forever in darkness. This is not accident, this is design. Because what we're witnessing isn't just an architectural marvel. It's the activation sequence for something the ancient Egyptians called the renewal protocol. Advanced astronomical calculations reveal that Abu Simbel is positioned to capture not just sunlight, but specific stellar configurations that occur only once every 26,000 years. The complete cycle of the precession of the equinoxes. The boundaries between worlds become permeable. The ancient Egyptians believed that their pharaohs weren't just kings, they were cosmic anchors, beings specifically designed to maintain the stability of reality itself. And Abu Simbel was their control center. But here's the terrifying implication. If the pharaohs truly were guardians of dimensional stability, and they're no longer here, who's maintaining the barriers now? The name of power. In the basement of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo sits a papyrus scroll that no scholar is allowed to study alone. Security protocols require that it never be examined by fewer than 3 people at a time. And those people must never, under any circumstances, read the text aloud. This scroll contains the most dangerous story in all of Egyptian mythology. The tale of how the goddess Isis stole the true name of Ra, the supreme creator god, and in doing so, gained power over reality itself. But what most people don't realize is that this isn't mythology. It's an instruction manual. The story tells us that Isis created a serpent from clay mixed with Ra's own saliva. When this serpent bit the sun god, only Isis could cure the poison. But her price was Ra's secret name, his true name. The name that controlled the forces of creation themselves. Ancient Egyptian magic was based on a simple principle. To know something's true name was to have absolute power over it. This wasn't superstition. Archaeological evidence suggests they had discovered something about the fundamental nature of reality that we're only beginning to understand today. Quantum physics tells us that observation changes reality. That consciousness itself might be the driving force behind the physical universe. The ancient Egyptians knew this 4,000 years ago.
Ra, Amun, Osiris, Isis, Horus
could literally rewrite the code of existence, change the laws of physics, alter the flow of time, reshape matter at the atomic level.
By the power of Ra, whose light gives life, I summon forth the hidden truth.
They know exactly where you are. The papyrus scroll contains 17 names, 17 combinations of sounds that should never be spoken, and according to the warnings written in the margins, someone has been trying to collect them all. The awakening. As we stand here in the 21st century, surrounded by smartphones and satellites, quantum computers and space stations, we like to think we've evolved beyond the primitive beliefs of our ancestors. We are spectacularly arrogant. Because every single ritual I've described to you tonight, the opening of the mouth, the solar Barque protocol, the feeding of Sekhmet, the army of guardian cats, the cosmic alignments, the names of power, every one of them was designed not just for the ancient world, but for right now. The ancient Egyptians didn't just believe they were protecting their own time. They believed they were protecting all time, past, present, and future. They saw themselves as guardians of reality itself, standing watch against forces that exist beyond our dimension. And they built their defenses to last forever. But guardians need guardians, watchers need watchers. And when the last pharaoh fell, when the last high priest died, when the temples were abandoned and the rituals forgotten, who took their place? Today, our most advanced instruments detect energy signatures from ancient sites that shouldn't exist. Gravitational anomalies at temple sites that seem to be growing stronger, as if something that has been sleeping for millennia is finally beginning to wake up. The ancient Egyptians left us more than monuments and mummies. They left us warnings, instructions, protocols for maintaining the balance between order and chaos, between existence and the void. The question that should terrify us all is simple. Are we listening? Because in the shadows of the pyramids, in the silence of the tombs, in the darkness between the stars, something is listening to us. The rituals are not forgotten. They are waiting.